Hi, Charles SirBookSage here, and it is time for another Friday Reads. I think House of the Dragon premieres this Sunday, so my number one reading priority for the weekend is to finish reading through the Dance of the Dragons chapters in Fire and Blood. I've been working my way through that book for pretty much the last few weeks. I'm really familiar with all the material in the book because I've watched so many live streams over the past couple of years. Where certain channels go into really deep dive into every event that happens and its meaning and significance and all that kind of stuff. But it's fun to actually just sit down and just read it for myself finally. So I just want to get through the rest of the dance before the show starts on Sunday. I'm probably also going to be starting volume 3 of my read through of Daredevil. I actually started with Daredevil issue number 1 from February 1964. And I'm going to be just slowly, no rush, no schedule, just working my way through Daredevil's entire run in Marvel Comics. And those early, like, Silver Age Marvel stories they're fun. Stan Lee was a very hyperbolic writer. It's silly. Here's the best way I can describe the very early Daredevil comic that Stan Lee wrote. They basically took Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and said, what if, instead of we had a teenager in Queens with superpowers in school, we had a blind lawyer in Manhattan in his 20s, also with superpowers? And that's basically Daredevil. He's very different personality here in the beginning. He's cracking a lot of jokes while he's fighting bad guys and stuff. But it's still a lot of fun. Fantastic artwork by like John Romita and a lot of others back then. And fun world building. You really see the bones of Marvel comics being built in some of these early comic books. And if you've ever watched Jessica Jones, particularly season 1, and you've seen Kilgrave, Kilgrave's first ever appearance in Marvel is in one of these first Daredevil books. Anyway, Dance of the Dragons portion of Fire and Blood, though, is really going to be my priority. I know there's a lot of people who probably have a sour taste in their mouth from how Game of Thrones ended, but hopefully they'll come and at least check out this show. I'm super excited. Just Matt Smith alone playing Daemon Targaryen is enough to get me to watch. 11th is my favorite Doctor, so I'll watch pretty much anything Matt Smith is in. I would like to actually finish Fire and Blood completely this weekend because I'd like to get back to Reaper's Gale, the next Malazan book. I kind of just put that temporarily on hold while I'm going through Fire and Blood. And I just kind of want to get it out of the way before I go back to Reaper's Gale. Because Malazan really needs your full attention as a reader. It's just so immersive and there's so much happening that even though I usually can bounce back and forth between a lot of different reading projects, Malazan is one of those stories that really does like demand your time and attention. It's why I think it's taking me a long time to work my way through this series, because you feel like you need a break after each book because there's so much happening in them. I don't know yet if I'm going to be doing any kind of like videos after each House of Dragons episode. I'm not an expert on that portion of the stories of A Song of Ice and Fire. In Deep Geek and David LML, these guys, House of Westeros, these guys can spend like 5 hours talking about like Daemon's shoes or something. They go into this really deep detail. So I don't know though. We'll see. If I have anything interesting to say about each episode, I might have a little video on it just to talk about it. So I thought I would just film this with this kind of different angle here, just playing around, something to have a slightly different look for no real reason other than just why not. And with that, happy Friday, happy reading.